10 rules to layer casual clothing and look great. Gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video. Rule number one to layering and looking great, gentlemen. Keep it simple. I can't stress this enough. Guys oftentimes make it overly complicated. You're not some Instagram post. You aren't necessarily a Facebook model. So don't think that you've got to layer 5 items. Guys, 2 to 3 is perfect. Look at this outfit I have right here. I've got my base blue shirt, then I've got my green knit, and then on top of that, I've got a brown leather jacket. The colors, the texture, this works for me. I feel great in this layered look. And guys, that's what you need to do. Feel great. Go out there, practice, keep it simple. You don't want to make this overly complex because then you're not going to enjoy the process. Rule number 2, gentlemen, thin to thick. Basically, bulkier clothing on the outside, more form-fitting clothing as you get closer to the body. This makes sense. If you think about you are throwing clothing on top of each other. It makes sense. The thinner clothing needs to be closer to the body. The thicker clothing then goes on, and the bulky, heavy clothing goes on top of that. If you try to reverse this, try to change it up, you're going to start to have fit issues. You're going to have pieces that just aren't working together. You're not going to be able to move in the clothing as well and effectively layer, and it just doesn't look as good. Rule number 3, gentlemen, for looking great in a layered look is to fully leverage all the different materials, all the different weaves, all the different textures, all the different fabrics that are out there, and the emotions and the feelings that they convey. You've probably heard me in other videos talk about leather and how it sends a signal of strength and masculinity. I've also probably talked about some of the nap surfaces we see on knits and we see on certain shirts that make people want to go in there and touch. So think about that. You're wearing something that's rugged, that makes also people want to get close, women especially, and touch. If you're going on a date, why not have a rugged but approachable look? You see how this all plays in? And that's the power of layering. So there's so many different shirts that you can have fun with. Let me just go over a few. This shirt right here, I'm actually wearing. I had 2 of them. And as you look at the material right here, we've got a dark blue and it's woven in with a lighter blue. So from a distance, it looks like a solid. When you get up close, you can actually see it's got a pattern in it. This shirt right here, it has a napped surface, which gives it something that you almost want to come up and touch. Right over here, we've got corduroy. Yes, gentlemen, corduroy on shirts, especially when it's got 11 wales per inch, and that's what you're looking for, number of wales. Actually, it looks great. It's actually a very warm type of feel, and it's something that people want to go up and touch. Very approachable. This right here, a rougher fabric, something that's going to be durable, but also gives an overall rough fabric. So if you were to wear a shirt underneath this that actually had more of a shine or a tighter sheen to it, they would actually work well together. Right over here, again, another nap surface. Now, I was talking about knits. This particular knit white that I'm wearing underneath here has a very tight weave. You actually can't see the yarns. This one right here, very different. It has a very loose weave. You can see the yarns, and it actually would work with a number of these shirts. Now, with jackets, like I talked about, I love leather as an outside of the jacket. Very strong feeling of masculinity. But some of you guys, maybe you don't like leather. Well, there are fox leathers out there. This one right here is actually a fox leather jacket. We've also got this right here, this sports jacket. So if you want something a bit dressier, you want to bring in a bit of a herringbone pattern. Now the color may not suit you. You can find something in blue. You can find something in dark brown. All right, gents, so far in this video, I've shown you a lot of examples of different jackets, different shirts out there, a wide variety of textures and materials. If you like what you're seeing, I want you to go check out Territory Head. I'm going to link to them down in the description of this video. They're the paid sponsor of today's video. And for over a year, I've been wearing their clothing. I love Territory Head. Let me tell you why. Specifically, it's the quality and the build of the clothing. I have these chinos right here. What I love about these, the stitching. I love the attention to detail when I go in and look at the fabric that they use on the inside. They use metal buttons. I go and I look at like the overall build. They are fanatical when it comes to those small details. This jacket right here, this knit, I can tell you this sweater is now one of my favorites. And I love it. It's got these elbow patches. You can go check it out. The landing page I'm going to send you to has all of these things I just showed you right here. All these pieces of clothing. They've got a sale going on right now. Plus, you can use a discount code, which I'm going to put down in the description. The discount code will not be around forever, guys. So if you're watching this video and it's been a ways and the discount code's not there, I'm sorry, it disappeared, it's gone. Now, in general, I find their clothing runs a little bit large, which makes sense. And they've got a lot, if you are a big guy, they've got tall clothing. And if you want clothing that's not going to wear out, that's another thing I love about their clothing. Having worn it for a year, I love the fact this stuff is durable. It is clothing that you can use to work with, to live in. I also love the colors in general. We're talking fall, earthy colors here. Guys, it's a great company. I can't recommend them enough. Go check them out. Rule number 4 to layering clothing, gentlemen, is understand every layer should be able to stand on its own. What does that mean? That means that you don't want to wear something that if worn by itself, it just wouldn't fit, it wouldn't look good. I know there are some hacks out there, and you can do this in a crunch where, yes, you could wear a well-fitted sweater over an ill-fitted shirt, but I still think that if someone, if you look at the back, you can sometimes see the clothing crinkling up underneath. I truly believe that every time you layer, every single piece should be able to stand on its own. Rule number 5, colors should complement each other. So what are complementing colors? Colors that complement each other work together. Let me show you, let me explain my outfit. So you see the blue here. You see the green here, you see the brown on the outside. Let's look at a color wheel. Where do they fall? We've got blue right here. We've got green over here. So these are actually analogous. They're near each other. They complement and they work with each other. Now, brown, where is brown? Brown's over here, but over in the red, orange, kind of the red, this area right over here. So you can see they're all working together. What you want to be careful of is going with colors that, in a sense, are called complementary colors. And these are where they're on opposite sides of the color wheel, or they're too jarring. So sometimes wearing certain colors that just are really bright. I get this asked, why do I stick with blues and browns? Because in my interchangeable wardrobe, they just work. Yes, I could bring in something like this and it would work because it has a little bit of a brown in it, but it is going to start to push it and it's not going to work. Obviously, it wouldn't work with this. We would have too much of the same thing going on here. Now, this would work with this, but when it comes to color, guys, keep it simple. Remember our first rule, and try to go with colors that complement each other. Rule number 6, let's talk about layering patterns. Layering patterns is very similar to matching patterns. What you don't want to do is go with 2 patterns right next to each other. So the great thing about wearing knits is that knits, most of the time, they've got their own distinct textured pattern. They oftentimes don't have like different large patterns that repeat themselves, which you would see in shirts. So that's why I like knits. They kind of offer a very safe buffer. But if you're going maybe for a jacket that's got a herringbone weave in it, then you don't want to have a shirt that's got a herringbone weave, especially if they're going to be similar. So if you're going to wear a striped jacket, or you've got something that has stripes maybe on the sweater, you want to be careful about wearing similar sized stripes in the shirt. It just doesn't look as good. So remember, guys, change up those patterns. Don't have this, and there's such a wide variety. Again, from corduroy to having something that's got a nap surface, there's just a wide option out there. You can actually avoid patterns in general, just go with some block colors. It's a little bit boring, I think, unless you start to bring in a textured fabric with that, but I think that's a good way. If you're just starting off and you are scared to death of patterns, then just go that route. Rule number 7, tuck in your under layers. And I'm talking about your shirts here. So a lot of guys think that if they're going to layer, they can untuck their shirt. This can work if you're an advanced layerer and the shirt isn't too long. But once that shirt starts to go past the crotch area, if it covers your backside, if it looks like a dress, it's just not a look I think that flatters most men. The half tuck, I've seen a few people out there talk about it. No. I think that shirts should be tucked. Then the knit can be untucked. Jacket, obviously you're not tucking in your jackets. And if you're an advanced matcher, you are in the streetwear, you know what you're doing when it comes to layering. Sure, go for it, have fun with it. But to me, this is a bit advanced. You can really mess this up. Again, if you know what you're doing, it can work. But I think for most men just starting off, it's better to tuck in that underlayer. Rule number 8, when it comes to layering, gentlemen, Don't forget about accessories. Accessories, yes, can be another layer. It allows you to bring in a different material, different pattern, different texture. One of the easiest ones is neckties. With this outfit, I could actually possibly bring in a dark blue, maybe even a red casual fabric made necktie that could all of a sudden bring in a little bit of an accent, a little bit of color. And yes, you're barely able to see it. And this may be a little bit too casual to wear a necktie, but if I were to dress this up just a bit, maybe wear a more formal looking shirt right here, I could have possibly pulled it off. Another thing, possibly bring in a hat with a different texture. Yes, I know a hat isn't technically layering right here in the chest, but the layering doesn't have to be there. With a sports jacket, I could bring in a pocket square. That is another layer if you look at it that way. You could layer with a watch. So many different accessories out there. You could have a particular great looking leather bag that looks good with maybe, this type of a sports jacket. What you're looking at are layers here, guys, and it's that dimension, it's the overall feel that we're paying attention to. Rule number 9, be careful of white clothing. It has a very formal history to it, and it's something that has a very stark contrast. These two things sometimes make it draw too much attention. It just doesn't always look right. White shirts in general are considered the most formal shirts because it showed that the man didn't have to work with his hands. When we're talking about casual layering, this is honestly where I think you should have a lot of fun with the shirts. White shirts, a little bit too formal, a little bit too high contrast, I wouldn't go with them. Now, this next rule is something that you never stop doing. Seek layering inspiration. So subscribe to magazines. Go check out Pinterest boards. I've got a copy of Esquire right here. I subscribe to GQ. I've got a number of other magazines that are sent to me. Go to Instagram. Start putting together, curating different looks that you like. At the end of the day, this has been done before very successfully by many men out there. So go out there, look at what they're doing. Be inspired, and there's nothing wrong with going out there and learning from the masters. Now, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I dropped a lot of information in this. If you want more, I've got a support article down in the description where I'm going to go into more detail. I'm actually going to provide some quick little exercises, some go-to outfits that you can put together and actually start layering properly. Again, if you love what I'm wearing here, I love this jacket, by the way. I'm linking to it down in the description. Go check it out over at Territory Head. And that discount that I've got for you, that discount code, you can throw it on top of some of the discounts and sales they're having, guys. These are it's an awesome deal, but that discount code will not be around forever. So go use it or lose it. That's it, guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.